Hello everybody, welcome to BrickVault. After the release of our brand new LEGO live-action Republic Gunship by builder Thomas Jenkins, seen in Star Wars Episode 2 and 3, we now also have an all-new animated style Republic Gunship from the Clone Wars and Bad Batch TV show. This minifig scale model was designed by Boosker, the same designer who also did our new ATTE, ATAP and Republic Dropship, and in the same style they now brought us this brand new gunship. This build was inspired by the version of the Republic Gunship that we see in the shows, and for the first time we at BrickVault make a distinction between the two versions of the gunship, and for good reason. While the live-action gunship was made purely for atmospheric flight, to a battlefield for example, the animated version was made to also go into space. For that it received an extra set of doors to close up the crew compartment completely. The slits in the doors to shoot out of have been closed up, and the small hallway in the front is now covered. Those are some of the in-universe changes, but behind the scenes we have a completely different design philosophy too, as this gunship now has to fit into the animated universe of the Clone Wars and Bad Batch. It is much slimmer than the movie version, and the back has a completely different angle. Enough changes for Boosker to go ahead and design a completely new version of the gunship from the ground up. We'll take a look at how this version compares to our live action Republic Gunship and all the other versions we ever did later in the video, but before we get to it, if you've ever watched one of our videos, you know that we don't show you this amazing build without giving you the option to also build this for yourself. Head on over to our website www.brickvault.toys, where you can get the building instructions and parts list to this and actually many more models. With your purchase you not only support us so we can continue bringing you these amazing custom builds, but you also support the incredible designers we work with like Boosker, plus you receive high quality instructions to build the nicest custom builds out there. That's www.brickvault.toys, or click the link in our description, and back to the video. The gunship is probably my single favorite ship in all of Star Wars, and you guys seem to agree with me, so it just made sense to differentiate between the different versions. But to give you a better idea of how it compares to our live action version, here they are next to each other. As you can see, the animated version is much smaller and thinner as it's supposed to be. We don't have a huge cutout in the middle and no doorway in the front, but where we can see the biggest difference is in the back, where you can see that the angle of the Clone Wars gunship's back is much steeper. And of course, no slits in the doors. You can pause the video if you want to take a closer look at the differences, but I also want to do a gunship comparison video where I compare all of the BrickVault gunships that have ever been made and take a look at the differences more in depth. So stay tuned for that. Now let's come back to Boosker's gunship and take a look at how it compares to Boosker's other models. They all have in common that Boosker is not afraid to show studs, which many of you seem to like too. It makes it so the model still looks like Lego, so you now have the option in the store if you want the full studless look with our other gunship or go with a more Lego-y aesthetic. I also always love a side-by-side with other minifig scale vehicles from this era. Really puts into perspective how huge some of these vehicles are in the Star Wars universe. Now, what does this model do differently than other LEGO Republic gunships? First of all, Boosker included 3 versions with this gunship. The first one being the regular one in dark red and green front that you see here in the video, the second one being the Plos Bros version, and the third one being the Imperial version in grey and white that we see in the Bad Batch. Second aspect, it is extremely accurate to the LAAT we see in the show without sacrificing stability. I'd say our live action gunship is a display piece through and through and not to be played with, while this one is totally able to be played with. It is built super well, the building experience was amazing, building all the different sub-assemblies that later get joined together is extremely satisfying, and the end result is something that can super easily be swooshed around. It even has a small handle integrated, similar to the official LEGO sets. So you see, this one was designed with play in mind. The ball turrets in the front and in the back can be rotated in all sorts of directions without a problem, and the cool part is, and I have to admit I've never seen that being done before, you can even rotate the ball turrets in the wings. Not sure how intentional that was, but it works and I think that's lovely. We have 2 sets of doors that can be opened up. Starting with the back doors, Boosker left a small gap for a finger to easily open the doors, and the front doors are just as easy. Inside there is room to fit a ton of of troops, and they have small handlebars to hold onto too. In the back we also have a hatch that can open up, and getting a pilot in the front seat is easy as well. Just remove this small subassembly and place him into the seat. Just the back cockpit is a little more difficult to access and requires a little bit of deconstruction. But if that's the only slight downside play-wise, I can totally overlook that. Boosker included a black stand that can easily be inserted into the underside if you want to display it in a more distinguished manner. If you build the closed browse version, you can also add these floodlights to the side, which is cool. That's our all new Clone Wars style Republic Gunship by Boosker. Let me know in the comments if you think that a completely new design for the animated version makes sense because of all the differences in size, dimensions and features, and which model you prefer. Are you more of a movie style gunship fan, or do you prefer the closed up version? I personally think the closed up version looks much sleeker, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, if you enjoyed this build, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please check out the instructions to build this beauty in the description below, and we catch you next time at BrickVault.